kuseshu dira.
Udham mukho dakshina kula aste.
Udhan mukho dakshina kulu ashte.
Samudra panyas vasuta nyasta para.
Samudra panyas vasuta nyasta para.
Iti smarajad yavashaya yukta.
Iti sma rajaya vasya yukta.
Prachina muleshu kusheshu dhiraha.
Prachina muleshu kuseshu dira.
Udam mukho dakshina kula aste.
Udhan mukho dakshina kula ashte.
Samudra panyas vasuta nyasta para.
Samudra panyas vasuta nyasta para.
Iti smarajad yavashaya yukta.
Iti sma rajaya vasya yukta.
Prachina muleshu kusheshu dhiraha.
Prachina muleshu kuseshu dira.
Udam mukho dakshina kula aste.
Udhan mukho dakshina kula ashte.
Samudra panyas vasuta nyasta para.
Samudra panyas vasuta nyasta para.
Anybody like to chant?
Iti smarajan yamasaya yukta.
Iti smaradya vasaya yukta.
Prachina muleshu kusheshu dhira.
Prachina muleshu kuseshu dhira.
Udhan mukho dakshina kula aste.
Udhan mukho dakshina kula aste.
Samudra panyas vasuta nyasta para.
Samudra panyas vasuta nyasta para.
Iti, thus,
Thus,
sma,
sma,
as in the past.
as in the past.
Raja,
Raja,
the king.
the king.
Vajja, Vasaya,
Vajrasaya,
perseverance.
perseverance.
Yukta,
Yukta,
being engaged.
engaged.
Prachina,
Prachina,
eastern.
eastern.
Muleshu,
Muleshu,
with the root.
with the root.
Kusheshu,
Kusheshu,
on a seat made of kusha straw.
on a seat made of kusha straw.
Dhira,
Dhira,
self-control.
self-control.
Udhanmukha,
Udhan mukha,
facing the north side.
facing the northern side.
Dakshina,
Dakshina,
on the southern.
on the southern.
Kule,
Ule,
bank.
bank.
Aste,
Aste,
situated.
situated.
Samudra,
Samudra,
the sea.
the sea.
Patnya,
Patnya,
wife of the Ganges.
wife of the Ganges.
Swa,
Swa,
Om,
Om,
Sutta,
Sutta,
son.
son.
Nyasta,
Nyasa,
given over.
given over.
Bar,
Para,
change of administration.
change of administration.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
In perfect self-control, Maharaj Prukat sat down on a seat of straw with straw roots facing the east, placed on the southern bank of the Ganges, and he himself faced the north. Just previously, he had given charge of his kingdom over to his son. Report. The river Ganges is celebrated as the wife of the sea. The seat of kusha straw is considered to be sanctified if the straw is taken out of the earth, complete with the root, and if the root is pointed toward the east, it is considered to be auspicious. Facing the north is still more favorable for attaining spiritual success. Although we hear, since I've joined, we hear that when you go to sleep, when you take rest, you face towards the east. Right? Everybody's heard that, but here it's saying it's more auspicious to face towards the north. All right, I'm going to investigate that one. Maharaj Prukat handed over the charge of administration to his son, before leaving home. What was his son's name? Janmejai. He was thus fully equipped for all favorable conditions. Om Jnanatamrandasya Jnananjana Sadakaya Chakshurmaitam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah Mukram Gurvachalam Bhagavatam Yat Kripataraham Bande Shri Gurum Dinadaranam Vanchakapati Pisakipasandevja Paditan Bhavyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So here, Parikshit Maharaj was fully equipped for all favorable conditions. What was most favorable for him was he had Sukadeva Goswami sitting in front of him, ready to speak the absolute truth. That's pretty favorable. And he's got so many devotees. I mean, I don't know how many saintly personalities were there, but there was a lot. It'd be interesting to know how many were there. So here it's mentioned that he had perfect self-control. Now it's interesting that he had the whole reason this is happening is because apparently he lost control. He was thirsty, and he put this snake over this the Rishi's net there. But here he's fasting for 7 days and nights, no water, no food. So of course this is Krishna's pastime, so the Bhagavatam could be spoken. It makes it a little dramatic. Yeah. So there's many devotees that had great self-control, like these sages at Namaskara. There's this one great devotee. He was a king. His name is Rantidev, and he was an amazing king, totally selfless. It's described that he went through a austerity of 48 days, no eating, no drinking. And at the end of this 48 days, he was going to take prasad, and a Brahmana came and said, "Oh, king, I'm hungry, please, can you feed me?" And he gave a good portion to the Brahmana. And then he was getting ready to take prasad, and then the Sudra came. And the Sudra said, "Oh, king, I'm hungry, please, can you feed me?" And he said, yes, come. And he fed the Sudra. And his family was there also, so he gave a good portion to the family. And then he was getting ready to eat again, and he said, and a guest came with dogs and said, "Oh, king, we're hungry, please, can you feed us?" And the king gave the rest of it to this guest and the dogs. Amazing selflessness, huh? So then he was just going to drink some water. He didn't have there's no food left. He was just going to drink some water. He was getting ready to drink the water. And then a Chandala came and said, "Oh, king, I'm thirsty, please. Can you give me something to drink?" And he said, yes, please come. And he gave him the water. Incredible example of selflessness, huh? Just amazing. Just like our Vishal Prabhu here. He doesn't eat until the evening. He just like fasts all day. All day fast. He does the Janmashtami thing every day. Well, not till midnight, but so yeah, very incredible example of self-control. So what happened was after this, the Brahmana and the Sudra and the Chandala, and I guess it turns out they were all demigods. Brahma, Shiva, and other demigods. Because they had heard of his greatness. The demigods had heard of his selflessness, so they tested him. And he certainly did pass the test. He's famous. Just like when Parikshit Maharaj was born, the Brahmanas came and they did like an astrological chart of him. And they said, this child will be practically as good as Krishna because of his following Krishna so strictly. He'll be like Rantidev in magnanimity. This is Rantidev. He'll be like Lord Brahma in austerity and just all kinds of things. So the Brahmana said to the parents, or to the mother, his father had already passed away, no problem. This personality will be a great, great king. So everybody was happy to hear that. Of course, another one that was so. These are examples of progression. Like Rantidev, he was a king. Now, generally, kings aren't so austere. Of course, back then, I guess the Rajarsis, a lot of kings were like that, austere and saintly. So Rantidev was like that. Just he progressed in a very wonderful way. So there's another one that progressed in a wonderful way is Dhruva Maharaj. So there's devotees that progressed, and there's others who regressed. So I'm going to give some examples of those who progressed and regressed. But then after they regressed, they also progressed. So this example of Dhruva Maharaj, he was the son of a king, and just a child, a 5-year-old child, wanted to get on his father's lap, and the stepmother said, hey, you can't get on his lap because you haven't taken birth from my womb. If you want to get on your father's lap, then you'll have to do austerities, leave your body, and take birth in my womb. She was a little puffed up. She was a little proud. So he was fuming. Kshatriya, he was a real Kshatriya. So he was so angry. He left there and he went to his mother and said, my stepmother said I can't get on the father's lap because I didn't take birth from her womb. And he was so, yeah. You guys are gonna they're flapping their papers to put out the you guys are gonna have to flap those papers real hard to stop it up here. What are you guys, only about 200 miles away? Oh no.
Ooh, can you just take a clock and go at the
What happened? How'd that happen?
I have no clue. There's nothing that's burning.
Oh no, there was nothing that was cooking and it went off.
Was it coming from here? Was this someone else's building?
That's crazy.
It was from ours, but I don't know. Everything is turned off. I don't know what is burning.
No smoke?
No smoke.
That's crazy. Oh my God. I'm going to get another apartment. Things are going crazy. And then we could leave these flies here too. So, back to the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Sorry. I don't know what.
That was weird. That's pretty good though. So Dhruva Maharaj, he was told by Suruchi, Muchi Suruchi, that if you want to sit on top, you gotta go worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You gotta do some great austerities, which is a good instruction. You know? Tell them to worship Krishna. You know, So then he went to Suniti, and she said, actually, your stepmother's right. So he said, well, where should I do this meditation? Where do I find the Supreme Lord? And she said, well, great sages and great saintly people, they go to the forest and they meditate. And he said, all right. So he left. I don't think she was thinking that he would do that. He was just a 5-year-old child. But he was serious. He went. And he went to the forest and he's doing his meditation. And there's one great personality we've all heard of, Narada Muni. He's called Trikalagya. So he knows, Prabhupada says in a purport that he knows past, present, and future of everyone, like a super soul. It's amazing, huh? Such an amazing personality. So he came there and he said, Dhruva, what are you doing? You're just a child. You're just a boy. Go play. Don't take this so seriously. Do this meditation and all this when you get older, like normal people. And Dhruva said, thank you for your instruction, but I'm of a Kshatriya family, and there's a lot of ignorance. I hear you, but it's not sitting in my heart. So if you could do anything to help me get what I want. Oh, and by the way, I want a kingdom greater than that of my father and my grandfather, Lord Brahma. This is what I want. So if you could help me, then please do. If not, then have a nice day. So Narada Muni could see this boy's serious. So he gave him a verse, a meditation that we're all familiar with. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And it's mentioned that he only said it 3 times. You're only supposed to say it 3 times in the day, which is interesting. So he was chanting this mantra and meditating. And his meditation, his austerity was extreme. It's described that the first 3 months, the first month, every 3 days, he would just eat dry leaves and dry grass. Every 3 days. That was the first month. Oh, no, it was berries. I'm sorry, it's berries and fruits off the trees. Every 3 days. In the second month, he would take dry grass and dry leaves every 6 days. The third month, every 9 days, he would drink water. That means he only drank water 3 times for that month, because 9 times 3 is 27. And then the next month, the 4th month, every 12 days, he would take some air. So my God, that's like, this is another age when people are able to do amazing austerities. That's an amazing austerity. And then the 5th month, it's described that he stood on 1 foot and just meditated, eyes closed. Any ever tried closing your eyes, standing on 1 foot? You can't do it. Try. Go ahead, give it a try. Give it a try. Close your eyes and see how long you could stand on 1 foot. Uh-oh.
Pretty good.
You did it about a minute. Uh-oh, it looks like what's his name on it? It looks like he got the prize. What's his name? Savana Bindu. I think you win. You get the Mahaprasadam.
Haribo, Haribo, Haribo.
He was a yogi in his past life. Just finishing up now. So he did it for a month. One leg, eyes closed for a month. Eating nothing, drinking nothing. Imagine that. Very, very austere. So he was doing this meditation, and eventually he pleased Krishna. He described that he captured the Lord, and the Lord, he was actually getting darshan of the Lord in his heart. And then the Lord disappeared. And he goes, whoa, 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 what happened? And then he wasn't able to see the Lord again. He actually spoke to him in an unembodied voice that you will not see me again in this lifetime. But he got the mercy. See, such a great devotee. So then there's, of course, the famous Ambarish Maharaj, who, another incredible king, who was fasting, and he was going to break his fast, but a great yogi came, Durvasa Muni, and he told Ambarish that he'll be back soon. He's going to go and bathe, and the time for breaking the fast was while he was gone. So he asked the Brahmanas, what do I do? If I want to get the results of this yajna, then I have to break the fast. And they didn't know what to do. But Ambarish, being a great devotee, he knew what to do. Take a little water. That's breaking the fast and not breaking the fast. So when Durvasa came back, and he was a yogi, so he understood that he had taken water. And he took that to be a great offense. Very offensive. That was like the Hati Mata offense. That he took water without his being there. So he decided to kill him for sipping water. So Durvasa, his problem was he took himself too seriously. He took himself a bit too seriously. We shouldn't take ourselves too seriously. And like Radhanath Swami, he makes all these nice statements. He said we should always think we're a new bhakta. Never think we're a big devotee. We're not big devotees. Prabhupada said we should never even think ourselves devotees. What to speak of a big devotee? We should always think ourselves just a newcomer, a new bhakta on the block. Yeah. If we take ourselves too seriously, then we can become offended. If we think we're very small, then how can we be offended by anybody? Because we're insignificant. But when we think we're really something, and someone says anything that's even close to offending us, we become so offended. It's like Durvasa Muni. I mean, just take a little sip of water, and he thought he should die for that. That's good reason to be killed. Took himself way too seriously. So yeah, we can also learn from this pastime. Don't take ourselves very seriously. We're very small. How small are we, Bhakta Tim?
Less than 1/10,000th the tip of a hair.
1,000, less than 1/10,000th size of a tip of a hair. That's small. So small we can't even be seen. Even by the most powerful microscope, we can't be seen. So that was his big fault of Durvasa Muni. So he took some hair out of his head, threw it down, a big demon came up, and all the Brahmanas went running, scared to death. But Ambarish Maharaj didn't flinch. What did he do? He meditated. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So here's a great devotee that progressed amazingly, even as a king. I mean, to be a king means you got to do a lot of management. And he was managing the world. So it's inconceivable. I was managing a small temple in Miami, and it was like too much. And there wasn't even that many devotees. Not like here, you got so many devotees. So managing is very difficult, but he was such a great devotee. So then there's devotees that progressed, then regressed. Such as, now we're going to Krishna Lila. There was a great devotee, Mukunda, who was a childhood friend of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and a great devotee. But during this Mahaprakash, Lord Chaitanya, he was giving blessings to all the devotees, but he had not called Mukunda. And Mukunda was there. And the devotees asked, Lord Chaitanya, Mahaprabhu, Mukunda, he's outside, he's waiting. Are you going to call him? I'll not call him. I will not call him. And the devotees were surprised. And Mukunda, he was in earshot, so he can hear that. And he was shocked and very sorrowful. So then he asked the devotees, ask the Lord if I'll ever see him again. So they asked the Lord, and Lord Chaitanya said, he'll see me after millions of lifetimes. And the devotees were so sorrowful. They go, oh my God. So they told Mukunda, and what did Mukunda do? He was dancing. He was dancing. I'll see him. I'll see him again. I'll see him. He's dancing. He said, I'll see him again. I'll see him again. I'll see him again. He's so happy. So the devotees were like shocked that he was so happy to hear that. And then when they told Lord Chaitanya, he's so happy that he'll see you again in millions of lifetimes. And Lord Chaitanya kind of chuckled. They said, tell him to come here now. So when they said, he's in ecstasy, he's still in ecstasy, he's saying, I'll see him again. And the devotee said, Mukunda, you can see him now. But he couldn't hear him because he's in ecstasy. I'll see him again. I'll see the Lord again. No, Mukunda, you can see him now. And they grabbed him by the shoulder. You can see him now. Come. What? I can see him now? Yeah. So he was very happy, and he went and he saw Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya, he was pleased that he was so patient. He was ready to wait millions of lifetimes in happiness that he will be able to see the Lord again. Because what happened, Lord Chaitanya said, he said, you would give me a flower and then you would beat me on the head with a stick. Because he would go and he would hear the Mayavadis. Also, he would hear the devotees, and he would go and he would hear the Mayavadis and would appreciate. He would go again and again. So Lord Chaitanya was so upset. But from that lesson, Mukunda never ever went to hear from the Mayavadis again. It's said, and Lord Chaitanya says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that if one hears Mayavad, then one is doomed. But fortunately for Mukunda, Lord Chaitanya was there to save him from hearing more nonsense. And he only took the shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees. Another example of someone who progressed and then regressed was Junior Haridas. He was one of the associates of Lord Chaitanya. And he went to get some rice for Lord Chaitanya, but in the place where he went to get the rice, there was a young lady there, and he became attracted to her. And when the rice was brought to Lord Chaitanya said, who has brought this rice? Where is this rice from? Oh, it came from Madhavi. Madhavi is the sister of Sikimihiti. Junior Haridas has brought it. And he said, tell him I won't see him again because he's omniscient. And he knew that he had looked at a young girl there at the place of Madhavi and had been attracted. But he was a brahmachari or a sannyasi or something. So Lord Chaitanya was very strict. And when the devotees heard this, they're also very strict, not looking at women at all. So he left. He had to leave. And it's interesting that for a year, he was waiting for Lord Chaitanya to give his mercy, and still he had not. So it's described that he went to the confluence of the Triveni, there of the Ganga, Jamuna, and the Saraswati, and took his life. And for a sannyasi, Prabhupada said, for a sannyasi to fall down, this is the recommendation. And he did that. So here's an example of some. Then actually he took on a subtle body, and he would go and he would sing. He had a beautiful voice, and he would sing in his subtle body. And devotees thought he had become a ghost. But Sri Damodar said, no, that's incorrect. He was a great devotee. So he's in a spiritual body, and he's singing the glories of Lord Chaitanya and Krishna. So he had progress, but then regress, but then he got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. He was chanting the glories of Lord Chaitanya and Krishna. And then we have examples also of those who traveled with Lord Chaitanya. Balabhadra Bhattacharya, he traveled with Lord Chaitanya to South India. And they went to this one place where people, actually they were in Vrindavan. And people were saying that Krishna had appeared again. He appeared again in the Jamuna. And people would go there and they would see Krishna in Jamuna dancing on Kaliya hoods. And Balabhadra, he asked Lord Chaitanya, can I go see Krishna also? He's appeared again. Lord Chaitanya slapped him in the face. He got some mercy. She said, you're a scholar. Why are you acting like fools? And then some guests came and Lord Chaitanya asked this. So they're saying that Krishna has come again. He's dancing on Kaliya's heads. What do you know about this? He said, no, they're fools. There's a boatman out there, and he's on his boat, and he's got a light, and they think those are the jewels of the Kaliya serpent, and they think the boatman, that's Krishna, and the boat is Kaliya. They're all fools. Yeah, but so many people get fooled so easily. Yeah. And even such a scholar as Balabhadra Bhattacharya, he became influenced by these people. And so he progressed so far. Even he's a great devotee. He was able to. He was recommended to travel with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You can imagine how fortunate and what a great devotee he must have been. But he regressed. Of course, he got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, and he progressed again by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And then another example of a devotee that also traveled with Lord Chaitanya was Krishnadas. Now again, I mean, he must have been a great devotee. He was recommended to travel with Lord Chaitanya. And while they were traveling, they came across some people that were called Bhattaharis, which were like gypsies. And they would lure people with their women. They would lure people away with their women. It still goes on. I mean, I remember I was in Detroit, and one lady came up, "Hey, you're looking for a wife? We got a wife for you." No, that's okay. Thanks anyway. It's still going on. This was back before I joined the Hare Krishna movement. So Krishnadas, he was lured by these gypsy women, and he went to their camp. And Lord Chaitanya, again being the omniscient Lord, he followed, and he got Krishnadas, and he said to this, they posed as sannyasis. And he said, "I'm a sannyasi, you're a sannyasi. Why are you taking my assistant here?" And they got so angry that they attacked him from all different angles. They attacked him. They had weapons, and they were going to attack Lord Chaitanya. So what happened? The weapons came out of their hands and attacked them. And it's mentioned that some of them were cut to pieces, which means they died. Some of them, there was body parts laying around because they were being cut to pieces by their weapons. You can imagine the chaos there. And I'm sure none of them ever bothered Lord Chaitanya again because they were being killed and by their own weapons. It's amazing, huh? So here's another example who have progressed and then regressed. So this goes to show how careful we have to be, even in the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya. One can fall away and be bewildered by Maya. Prapanam paimami shabita mrityu gaharnava. In the Uddhava Gita, Krishna, he told Uddhava, this is how you should pray to me in the form of the deity. Prapanam paimami shabita mrityu gaharnava. Please protect me, my Lord, who I'm trying to surrender unto you. I'm very fearful of this material existence, standing as I am in the mouth of death. So this is the prayer. It's a good, I chant this in the temple room before greeting the deities because I need protection. I think we all need protection. The Maya is very powerful, too powerful. So we have to pray for protection. And Krishna is very kind. If we're sincerely serving, we're sincerely praying for protection, then Krishna will protect us and will progress back to the lotus feet of Krishna. So is there any question, comment, correction, donation? Yes, Subhana Bindu Prabhu. Okay, is the volume on?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. I have a question. Is there, because constitutionally living entity is Tatastha Shakti or marginal potency of the Lord,
Yeah.
is there any point of no return?
Yes. When we go back to Godhead, yeah, when we go back to Godhead, then we're there. But even in this life, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilotanena Santak Sadaiva Vijaya Sivalokiyanti Yam Syama Sundar Vachintya Gunasarupam Govindamari Purusantamaham Bhajami. I wish that the primary Lord Govinda, who is always seen by the devotee whose eyes are anointed with the pope of love, he is seen in his form of Syama Sundar situated in the heart. So But actually, it's interesting. Now, my thought here is that once you've made it, once you've seen Krishna, then you made it. But here we have examples of Krishnadas and Bhagavad Bhattacharya. They're there with God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But they regressed. So from that, it appears like you could fall down in any position in this material world. Even you become a pure, well, maybe they weren't pure devotees. I don't know. You know, I mean, it's something
That's why I'm asking this question.
Yeah, it's a very good question. But when you actually become, we don't know. I mean, I should say I don't know. But yeah, it's even Prabhupada, he would pray for protection. That amazing pastime. Prabhupada told the devotee that I cannot fall away from Krishna. And the devotee is like, whoa. And then he saw Prabhupada praying for the deity. And later Prabhupada said he was praying for protection. So, but once we go back, one thing we know for sure, once we go back to the spiritual world, that's the point of no return. Because Krishna has promised so many places. Once you go back to the spiritual world, you don't come back again. But here, apparently we can regress. It's something we can investigate on more.
Adinath Krishna Prabhu looks like he knows something.
I heard something about this before in regards to Srila Prabhupada, and what he replied is that the example is once burnt, twice shy. That we've come to this material world, we know how it burns us, and therefore the individual doesn't ever want to come back, he said. And so even if the living entity goes back to the spiritual realm because of volition, in theory, the living entity still can at any point fall down, even though he probably won't, because again of the once burnt, twice shy principle.
Also, it's never happened. It's never known to happen that someone went back to Godhead and came back to the material world.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, as you said, theoretically it's possible.
Yeah.
But it just hasn't happened. Because Prabhupada said, what was it? One devotee said, Prabhupada, when we go back to the spiritual world, will we remember our existence in this material world? And Prabhupada said, yes. You'll remember it like a nightmare. Nobody wants to go back to a nightmare, right? When you wake up from a nightmare, you're like, whoa, good thing I was sleeping. You know? Good thing I was sleeping. Because this material existence is a nightmare compared to life in the spiritual world. So yeah, we won't make that mistake again because it'll be remembered. It's a nightmare. Okay, anything else?
So I have a question about Chota Haridas picture on Chaitanya Charitamrita's cover page. He has some wings when he's singing songs.
Say that again.
So this is Chota Haridas once he leaves his body. Yeah.
I mean, he became Christian angel.
Yeah.
He has wings like angels.
Oh yeah.
So I am wondering how does that description of the
that's it.
how does that description comes from that wings?
So Swarup Damodar, he said that they were wrong, that he had not become a ghost.
Yes.
Now, does anybody remember specifically what he said?
Yes, Prabhu, I was checking that in the chapter.
he didn't become a ghost, because a ghost is just a, you know, it's a mode of ignorance, just completely. So yeah, maybe he became a demigod. I mean, it doesn't say.
I think it was a Gandharva, but I'm not very sure. I'm trying to find the reference.
Oh, you're looking to?
I'm looking to.
Okay, we got Vishal looking also.
Shelby.
Vishalji. You could turn that heater off. Couldn't find it? Uh-oh, we lost the volume. What happened?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
I go.
Prabhu, also another question is about lusty desires. Even when one becomes a brahmachari, I don't know, at least for me, I don't see that I'm free of lusty desires. So this here junior Haridas, he just saw a woman and he had some desires in his heart, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that only atonement is committing suicide.
Yeah. Don't commit suicide.
But yeah.
Yeah, we have,
And yeah, how do we understand this?
we have to be very serious in our Krishna consciousness as we see how serious Lord Chaitanya is. Yeah. I mean, this one time I asked a sannyasi, a serious sannyasi, he never had any difficulty after taking sannyasi. Just he left his body, good, in good condition, no difficulty at all. So I said, you're a sannyasi. I'm a brahmachari, but sometimes I have sex desire. He said, do you ever have sex desire, Mom? He said, all the time. Sannyasi. He said, we have these Western bodies. Of course, you're from India, so you have Eastern bodies. But still, it's Kali Yuga. So, yeah. Prabhupada said, if you follow the four regular principles and you chant 16 rounds a day, I guarantee you'll go back to Godhead. So this is like a handicap. Prabhupada's made the promise. You just follow the four regular principles and you chant 16 rounds a day and you'll go back to Godhead. So, yeah, we got Prabhupada's mercy. But we should be very careful. We shouldn't think, well, I got Prabhupada's mercy. I'll be okay. Just like the Christians say, Jesus died for our sins so we can just do anything we want. And they do anything they want, thinking that they'll be all right. They'll go back to Godhead. No. We have to act purely. In Kali Yuga, if you think a simple thought, you don't get a reaction. In other ages, if you thought of a sinful activity, then you get a reaction. Not in Kali Yuga. If that were the case, then everybody would be dead, practically. Because so much sinful thought. Yeah. So try our best and hope for the best. Right?